Hello, welcome to episode 17 of Football Heaven 24/7. I'm your host, Jamie Carter. Just going to do a quick preview of the weekend's games to come. I'm going to go through it quite quickly. This is only going to be a small segment, but just to get that out there before the weekend's games start. Obviously, I'm going to be running through the Premier League, Championship, League Two, and the National League. It's the final day's fixtures for the Championship and League Two this weekend. Anyway, I'm going to go shoot straight into it. Through the week, West Ham got knocked out in the semi-finals of the Europa League. They lost 3-1 overall to Eintracht Frankfurt and 1-0 on Thursday night, just gone. Rangers pulled off a shock, smashing RB Leipzig from Germany 3-1. So it will be Rangers and Eintracht Frankfurt in the final. There was drama in the Champions League as Real Madrid looked like they were going to lose to Manchester City with a minute to go, and they got 2 goals back on the 90th and the 91st minute to see them through into the final against Liverpool, who also won after being 2 goals to nil down to Villarreal. They came back to 3-2, meaning that they won 5-2 on aggregate to go into the Champions League final with Real Madrid. So that's the two European Cups. The third one, Roma won 1-0 against Leicester City, and Feyenoord drew 0-0 away at Marseille, which meant that Feyenoord and Roma will play each other in the Europa Conference League. Anyway, we're going to go straight into Saturday's games for the Premier League. Tonight, basically, the first game will be Brentford against Southampton on the fixture list. I fancy Brentford to win that one 2-1. I won't do too much of a focus on that. Then we've got the evening kickoff at 5:30. Actually, no, we'll concentrate on the we'll go on that one. Brighton against Manchester United. I'm going to say 2-1 Brighton because Manchester United on a bit of a poor run at the moment. Burnley against Aston Villa. Burnley need to win to stay up because Burnley, they're on a great run, but they're still only 2 points clear of the relegation zone. They've got Leeds and Everton just behind them. So I'm going to say in that game, I'm going to go 2-0 to Burnley. Chelsea are playing Wolves, and I'll say that one will be 2-0 to Chelsea. And then we've got Crystal Palace against Watford. Again, I'm going to say another 2-0. And then we've got Liverpool against Tottenham in the evening. And I'm going to go for 3-2 to Liverpool in that game because I think Spurs have got a good attacking team, but Liverpool's going to have too much for them in the end. Then we're going to jump into the final day in the Championship. There's a couple of key games. Fulham and Bournemouth, they're already up into the Premier League. The At the moment, the only ones that are sure of the playoffs, Nottingham Forest and Huddersfield, they're both booked third and fourth place respectively. Although that can change around. Huddersfield could leapfrog Forest if they win or get a better result than Forest, basically, on the day. So looking at those two games, Forest are away at Hull. I'm going to say 2-0 to Forest, and also um, Huddersfield are playing at home to Bristol City. I'm going to say in that game, I'm going to go for a shock. I'm going to say 2-1 to Bristol City, although it's not really a shock because Bristol City are on a bit of form at the moment. Although my Bristol Rovers mates won't appreciate me talking about that, but there we go. I'm just saying how it is. But yeah, the other games, Bournemouth are already up. They're playing Millwall. I fancy Millwall to pull off a bit of a shot there. I'm going to say 2-1 Millwall, just because they need to get the points to have a chance to get into the playoffs. Birmingham are playing Blackburn. I'll go 2-1 Birmingham. Derby, they're already down, obviously. They'll be playing League One next year. Unlucky. Derby are playing Cardiff. But I'll still say that'll be a 1-1 draw. We've got Luton against Reading. Luton are on the early kick. Luton have got to win to stay in the playoffs. I think they will win. I think they'll win 2-1 in that game. Peterborough against Blackpool. I'm going to say 3-1 to Blackpool. Preston against Middlesbrough. I'm going to say a 2-2 draw in that one. Sheffield United against Fulham. I'm going to go 1-0 Sheffield United. Stoke against Coventry City. I'll say 3-1 Stoke. Swansea against QPR. I'm going to go for 4-1 to Swansea. And then we've got West Bromwich Albion against Barnsley. And I'll say 3-0 to West Brom in that game. If I'm right with my calculations, that means that Luton and Sheffield United will finish in the playoffs, and Middlesbrough and Millwall will just miss out if my predictions are right. But my predictions haven't always been right, as we know, so we're going to have to find out what happens. But it'll be an exciting last day of the season anyway. That's the main thing. Couple of shouts out for Huddersfield and Luton. They've done fantastic. Forest, I've already mentioned my team. They've done fantastic considering they were in the relegation zone after about 8 games into the season. For them to finish what could be third or fourth, but to be in the playoffs with a chance of getting into the Premier League is going to be amazing. Obviously, I'm going to do a review of all these games that I'm talking about now on Monday morning. But we'll go into the final day in League Two. League Two, there's a few things up at stake. In League Two, there's Exeter and Forest Green that are already promoted, but there's a fight between Northampton, Bristol Rovers, Port Vale, Mansfield, and even a possibility of Swindon. So anyone in those playoff places, and then Northampton, there's about 4 or 5 teams fighting out to get that final promotion place. Northampton, they're going to be playing. They're playing a game away at Barrow. I think in that game that it will finish 2-2. I'm gonna Bristol Rovers are then just behind them. Bristol Rovers have got a bit of an easy one against my other team, Scunthorpe. Scunthorpe, they're going to do. There's nothing to play for. I don't think there's going to be anything in them. I'm going to go 3-0 Bristol Rovers for that one. I don't really want to say that, but it's pretty inevitable. Exeter's playing Port Vale. Exeter, they're already promoted, so they're not too fussed, although they will be fighting with Forest Green on the last day to actually win the League Two title. So, but I'm going to say 2-1 to Exeter there against Port Vale. And then we've got Harrogate against Sutton United. I'm going to say 3-0 Harrogate Town because they're on a bit of a roll at the moment. Hartlepool against Colchester. Nothing really to play for these two teams. They're both safe. They've both not got a chance of getting into the playoffs or anything. So I'll say in that game, I'll go for 2-1 to Colchester. Leyton Orient against Tranmere. Tranmere still got a chance of getting into the playoffs. I'm going to say in this one 2-1 Leyton Orient though. And then Mansfield against Forest Green. I'm going to say that Mansfield will draw that one with Forest Green 2-2, which by my calculations would mean Exeter will win the title. I think it's overdue for Exeter because Exeter have had a great season. They've had a good little run at in the last 10 games. They've been doing some fantastic football. Anyway, yeah, the last 4 fixtures to complete in that league is Newport against Rochdale. Neither of them have got a chance of going up. I'll say 1-1 in that one. Oldham's already down with Scunthorpe. They're going to be playing Crawley at home. I'm going to go Crawley 2-0 in that one. Stevenage playing Salford City. I'm going to say in that one 2-1 to Salford. And then we've got Walsall against Swindon Town. And I'm going to say 2-0 to Swindon in that one. So should be interesting to see how it all turns out. I mean, if my predictions are right there, we're looking at basically Mansfield and Swindon along with Port Vale and Northampton being in the playoffs and Bristol Rovers just sneaking that 3rd place. I think they're going to do it. You know, I've just got this sneaky feeling that Rovers are going to go up. I was there a few years ago when their manager Darrell Clarke, who's now the manager at Port Vale, he led them to back-to-back promotions from the conference and then from League Two into League One. And he'd done a fantastic job. But I've just got this feeling that Rovers have just got these supporters. I mean, they took over 2,000 to that Rochdale game when they were 3-1 down the following week and then got back to 4-3 in the last I think it was like 15 minutes of the game. There just seems to be that momentum there. There just seems to be something about that team. And I think Joey Barton is a good manager and he's already proven that he can do well at League One level. So I fancy them to do that. Anyway, we'll see what happens. But anyway, we'll see what happens on the day. Anyway, we're going to drop down into the conference quickly. There's a number of games there. I'm going to do a few predictions. I don't normally do the conference, but we'll just have a little look in there. In the conference right now, the table is basically Stockport County at the top, Wrexham are in second. There's a point between the two of them, and there's a massive, massive game because Stoke and Wrexham are playing each other. It's not Stoke, what am I about? Stockport, sorry. Stockport County and Wrexham are playing each other. Now, I was talking to one of my mates, he's from Stockport. This is a massive clash for Stockport. They have to win it to have a chance because Wrexham, they've got some momentum at the moment. Stockport have had a bit of a wobble, but I'm going to look at this one. Do you know what? I'm going to say, because it's such a tight affair, I think I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in that, which means that there's still only a point between the two of them. Stockport do have a game in hand, which I believe they're playing next Wednesday in midweek. I think they're playing at home to Torquay United. I think it is. Yeah, that's it, Torquay United. So I think it could be wrapped up. There's still only like 3 or 4 games left in that league anyway, but we're looking into the playoffs. As I say, Wrexham's in there. Stockport are still at the top by 1 point. You've got Halifax Town, Solihull Moors, Notts County, Grimsby, and Chesterfield. And just outside there, you've got Dagenham with a realistic chance of still catching Chesterfield or Grimsby or Notts County. Any of those teams could drop out of the playoffs, and Dagenham could end up in there. It all depends on the results, I suppose. But we'll have a look through the games. Bromley's playing against Dover. Dover are down. They had a bad season. They had a massive points deduction at the start of the season. About 20 odd points, I think it was 21 points, like Derby. I think it was that. I'm going to go Bromley 3-0. Halifax Town, as I say, they're in the playoffs in third. I'm going to say 2-0 there, 2-0 win over Aldershot at home. Grimsby's playing Maidenhead. I'll go 2-1 to Grimsby in that one. Notts County's playing Altrincham. I'll say in that game, I'll go 2-2 in that game. Solihull Moors are playing Dagenham. That's going to be a crucial game for Dagenham. But I think Daggers are going to do it. I think I'm going to say 2-1 to Dagenham for that. Torquay against Chesterfield. That's an early kick-off at 12:30. I'm going to say I'm going to go 2-1 for Torquay in that one. Wealdstone against Kings Lynn Town. I'll say 2-0 for Wealdstone on that. Weymouth against Barnet. Barnet I'm going to go for in that one 3-1 because they're on a bit of a roll. Woking against Eastleigh. That'll be I'll say 2-2 in that game. And then Yeovil against Boreham Wood. Boreham Wood, they're on a bit of a roll at the moment. Haven't really got a chance of getting in the playoffs, but I think that game will end 1-1. So that's my predictions for that. We're going to jump on to Sunday's games. There's 4 games, really crucial ones actually. There's a couple of teams that are trying to avoid relegation. Leeds United are away at Arsenal, but I think Arsenal are going to do them. I think that's going to be 2-0 Arsenal. Everton are away at Leicester. They showed some fighting spirit the other week, and I think Leicester might be tired because of their having to play in Europe on Thursday. And I'm going to say that Everton are going to sneak a 2-1 there and get some much needed points to try and get out that relegation zone. If my estimations are right on that, that means that Everton will leapfrog Leeds, and Leeds will then drop into the relegation zone with already condemned Watford and Norwich to possibly go down into the Championship. There's 2 other games. Another crucial one, like I said in the Saturday game, I did Liverpool to beat Tottenham 3-2. So that would put Liverpool above Manchester City going into the Sunday games. But Manchester City are at home against Newcastle. And I think it's going to be a tight game because Newcastle have got something in them. Man City had a tough week getting knocked out of the Champions League again, this time by Real Madrid. And that game had to go into extra time, so I think they'll be quite weary. But I can still see Manchester City winning that narrowly 2-1. And then West Ham's away at Norwich. West Ham will be absolutely knackered, but Norwich are no great shakes. I'm going to say 2-0 West Ham in that game. There's some playoff games tonight in League One. It's the first leg. Wickham beat MK Dons on Thursday evening, the night when the Europa League games were on. They won 2-0 in the first leg against MK Dons. But their second leg will be played on Tuesday next week. So Wickham have got the advantage in that one. But in the other game in the League One playoffs, it's Sheffield Wednesday against Sunderland. Sunderland are at home at the first leg tonight, on being Friday night. And I'm going to say it's going to be 2-1 to Sheffield Wednesday in that game. That's pretty much my review of all the games. Monday, the second leg, and I think Sheffield Wednesday will also win that 1-2-1, which will see Sheffield Wednesday into the final. And I'm going to say that Wycombe Wanderers are going to get a 1-1 draw away at MK Dons on Tuesday night next week. So it's going to be, in my view, it's going to be a Sheffield Wednesday and Wycombe playoff final. Obviously, I could be proved wrong. Well, who knows what could happen? MK Dons have been pretty consistent this season, even though I don't think they should exist, as I've ranted about in previous episodes. But anyway, that's the review of the weekend. Obviously, the Championship's already completed, and so's League One. So it was only not the Championship. The League One was already completed last week, so it was really only a focus on the Premier League, Championship, and League Two, and obviously a bit on the conference there. Celtic have really wrapped up the title in Scotland, so there's not much point previewing any of those games. Although yeah, if Celtic win this weekend, they're already 6 points clear. There's only 3 games left of the season now in that league, and they're 6 points clear. So Celtic will wrap that up. I've got no doubt on that. Rangers had a great night. They're playing a European final for the first time since 1972, when they played Dynamo Moscow, I believe it was, in 1972, and won that one. I think that was in the Cup Winners' Cup in 1972. So yeah, it's all looking good for a lot of teams, but it'll be interesting to see what happens, who gets into the playoffs, who doesn't, and who survives that relegation scrap in the Premier League. But thank you for your continued support, and please like and subscribe. Please get all your friends and family behind us to get me that support. Because obviously, if I become a multimillionaire, which is definitely possible, um, I won't forget any of you. Anyway, have a great weekend. All the best, and I'll do a massive review for you all on Monday morning. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your football, whoever your team is. Okay. I've been Jamie Carter. This is Football Heaven 24/7. Bye.